Hello, everyone. My name is Iman Grace. Welcome to day 3 of the US Open English course. If you haven't watched day 1 and day 2 yet, go check them out first. They'll really help you follow today's lesson easily. Today, we're starting something powerful, aorist tenses. These are the backbone of English speaking. So let's begin with the present tense Rückwärtsgang, because everything starts from now. There are 4 types of present tense, but don't worry, I'll make it super easy for you. Let's start with the first one, hastig, present simple tense. We use present simple to talk about habits, routines, and facts. For example, I wake up early. I go to work. She studies English. See? It's that simple. Just remember, s'irriter, we use the base form of the verb. For he, she, or it prall, we add s or es, like she plays, he works, it rains. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I eat breakfast at 8 o'clock. Cool.
She reads a book every night.
They play football on Sundays. The base form of the verb never changes, il. Only he, she, and it get lis or s. Let's test your memory. Tell me, what's the verb in this sentence? She plays piano. The verb is plays. You got it right. Now one more. They work hard every day. What's the verb? Correct. The verb is work. Great job, everyone.
Present simple is super easy when you practice it daily.
Now it's time for our second tense, hörats. The present continuous tense. We use present continuous to talk about actions happening right now. The structure is subject plus am / is / are plus verbing.
For example, I am teaching English. You are learning English. She is listening carefully.
Remember, the action is happening right now. Let's practice together. Here to viewers. Say it with me.
She is smiling.
That's how we describe what's happening right now using present continuous. Now let's see how to make negative sentences in present continuous. The structure is subject plus am / is / are plus not times verbing. For example, I am not sleeping. She is not reading. They are not talking. See? Just add not after am, is, or are fall, and your sentence becomes negative. Now, salfu. Let's learn how to ask questions in present continuous. The structure is am / is / are plus subject plus verbing. For example, are you listening? Is she studying? Am I speaking clearly? Whenever you start with am, is, or are, you're asking a present continuous question. Let's try one together. Spakabras. Are you learning English right now? A fortur biz. Let us learn your Procker brains. Of course you are, because you're watching this lesson. Let's quickly review what we learned about the present continuous tense. We use it for actions happening right now, tros, using am, is, or are with verb plus ing. For example, I am speaking. You are watching. They are learning. Now let's take a quick quiz. Tada! I'll say the sentence, and you tell me if it's present simple or present continuous. Number 1, she is cooking dinner. That's present continuous pragus because the action is happening right now. Next one. He plays football every evening. That's present simple for you because it's a routine, not happening now. You're doing amazing. Let's try one last question. They are studying English at the moment. Förkommande. Which tense is this? Now let's compare present simple and present continuous because many learners mix them up. Present simple is for habits, facts, and routines. But present continuous is for actions happening right now. Example 1. She reads every night. Kävijä. That's present simple. Example 2. She is reading right now. That's present continuous. See the difference? The first talks about a habit. The second about an action happening now. But right now, they are watching TV Crows. Present continuous. So remember this simple trick, kauf. If it's routine, it's simple. If it's happening now, it's continuous. Let's keep practicing the charade because understanding this difference makes your English sound natural. Okay, everyone, it's quiz time again. Let's test what you've learned so far. Another example. They play football on Sundays. Henvio. Present simple. I'll say a sentence korrespondent. You tell me whether it's present simple or present continuous.
Sentence 1. He drinks coffee every morning.
That's present simple, Kai, because it's a habit.
Sentence 2. She is cooking dinner right now.
That's present simple cravens, because it's a routine action. Correct again. That's present continuous kuros, happening at this very moment. Sentence 3. They play football every Sunday. Sentence 4. They are playing football right now. You're doing great. You can now easily tell the difference between simple and continuous. Great work. Now we're moving to our next tense, the present perfect tense. This tense connects the past to the present past, actions that started before and continue or have results now. The structure is subject plus have / has plus past participle of the verb. For example, I have finished my homework.
She has learned English for 2 years.
We have lived here since 2020. We use present perfect for actions that have a connection to the present moment. Let's repeat together. Have / has plus past participle. Example, they have just arrived. He has already eaten. Perfect. You're doing amazing, Trojan. You now understand the present perfect tense. I'm Swasti. Now, let's learn how to make negative sentences in the present perfect tense.
She has not called me yet.
For negative sentences, we simply add not after have or has.
For example, I have not finished my work.
We haven't met since last year. To make questions, start with have or has before the subject. Now let's make questions with the present perfect tense. Has he gone to school today? For example, have you finished your project? Awesome! You can now make both negative and question forms of the present perfect tense.
We're welcome for days to my
Now we're moving to the present perfect continuous tense. This tense shows an action that started in the past and is still continuing. The structure is subject, place, have, / has time has been, plus verbing.
For example, I have been studying English for 2 hours.
She has been waiting for the bus since morning. They have been working on this project since Monday. We use this tense to show how long something has been happening. For example, he has been playing football all day. To faire prompters. You now understand the present perfect continuous tense. Now let's learn how to make negative sentences in the present perfect continuous tense. We make it negative by adding not after have or has. For example, I have not been studying English today.
She has not been sleeping well lately.
They haven't been working this week. Uppers or praising? Now, let's form questions in the present perfect continuous tense. To make questions, start with have or has, then the subject, then been, then verbing. For example, have you been studying since morning? Has he been watching TV all day? You can now make both negative and question forms of the present perfect continuous tense. Now we're entering a new tense, the shrews, the past tense. Forging says what you promise. The past tense is used to talk about actions that happened before now. The structure is subject plus verb in past form.
For example, I played football yesterday. She watched a movie last night.
Edgeworth worship will pass. We'll start with the simple past tense.
They visited their grandparents last weekend.
The action is complete, karakatis. It happened in the past, and it's finished. Let's repeat together. Subject plus verb listen. First starts beautiful verse progress. Now let's talk about the past continuous tense. This tense describes actions that were happening at a specific time in the past. Perfect! You've just mastered the simple past tense. Structure is subject plus was / were plus verbing. For example, I was reading a book last night. I was reading last night. They were playing cricket when it started to rain. She was cooking dinner when I called her. Shoot. Notice something curry. Sarah's one action was happening and another action interrupted it. Example, I was watching TV when the power went out. So, we use past continuous to describe what was happening at a certain time. You now understand the past continuous tense. Now let's make negative sentences in the past continuous tense.
For example, I was not watching TV. She wasn't sleeping at that time.
Make it negative by adding not after was or were. To make questions, start with was or were before the subject.
For example, were you watching TV?
Now, let's make questions using the past continuous tense. Was he studying when you called? You can now form both negative and question sentences in the past continuous tense. Now we're moving to another important tense, the past perfect tense.
This tense shows an action that was completed before another action in the past.
The structure is subject plus had plus past participle. Go to the previous step. For example, I had finished my homework before dinner. She had left before I arrived. They had already eaten when we reached. See the difference? One action happened earlier, and the other happened later, both in the past. We often use words like before, the after, or when to connect these actions. Now let's make negative sentences in the past perfect tense. To make a negative sentence, we add not after had. For example, I had not finished my homework. For example, he had gone home before it started to rain. Great work! You now understand how to use the past perfect tense.
She had not left the office before 6 p.m. They hadn't eaten when we arrived.
Now, let's make questions in the past perfect tense. To make questions, start with had before the subject. For example, had you completed your task? Had she called you before leaving?
Now let's begin the past perfect continuous tense.
You can now form both negative and question sentences in the past perfect tense. This tense talks about actions that were continuing for some time before another action happened. The structure is subject plus had been times verbing plus time reference. For example, I had been studying for 2 hours before dinner. She had been working there for 5 years before she got promoted.
They had been waiting for the bus when it started raining.
This tense focuses on how long the action had continued before something else happened. Remember topos, we always use had been for all subjects.
For example, they had been playing football for 2 hours.
You've learned the basic structure and meaning of the past perfect continuous tense.
General module progress. Now let's make negative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense.
To make a negative, we simply add not after had. For example, I had not been sleeping well before the exam.
She hadn't been working there for long. They hadn't been studying when the teacher arrived.
For questions, start with had before the subject. Now, let's form questions in this tense. For example, had you been waiting for me? Excellent! Now you can make negative and question forms in the past perfect continuous tense. Today, we're starting the simple future tense. This tense is used to talk about actions that will happen in the future. The main helping verb is will or shall. The structure is subject plus will plus base form of the verb. For example, I will go to school tomorrow.
She will call you in the evening.
We will learn many new things in this course. In spoken English, will is often shortened to I'll, she'll, they'll. Perfect! Now you know how to use will to talk about future actions. Word per parse. Now let's make negative sentences in the simple future tense. To make a negative, we simply add not after will.
She won't call you today.
Now let's make questions in the simple future tense.
We won't play football this weekend.
For questions, start with will before the subject. Will they help us tomorrow?
For example, will you come to my party?
Excellent! Now you can make positive, negative, and question sentences in the simple future tense. Let's start our final tense, hers, the future continuous tense. This tense shows an action that will be happening at a specific time in the future. The structure is subject plus will be plus verbing plus time reference. For example, I will be studying at 8 o'clock tonight.
She will be working tomorrow morning.
They will be traveling to London next week.
To make a negative, we add not after will. For example, I will not be sleeping at that time. Excellent work! You've now completed all the major tenses in English. Congratulations!